everyone, and welcome along to page 5 of our Edith Holden hybrid mini album journal type thing. We've completed pages 1 through 4 and now we're ready to look at page 5. So I've selected this page, which is page 76, to go on the back of this. It's a triple flip page. Here are the flips. There's that one, there's that one, and there's that one. And they all go on the top, like that. And what we will add that isn't actually in the measurement file, but I will add it, we're going to add a pocket along the bottom so we can tuck things in. But it'll all become clear as I do it, so don't worry. Right, so that's that. The one thing I do need to add to this page before we progress is a magnet. Now then, I want it to keep all of these flaps in the right position. So I have already put a magnet on the back of this top flap, like that, 3/4 of an inch in and fairly central. And I've stuck that on with double-sided. So what we're going to do is get another magnet out. And see if I can get one persuaded to leave the pack. There we go. Put these back in. You can always find them. If you don't know where they are, get your scissors out and your scissors will automatically pick them up. So that's one thing that's never lost on the page. So what I want to do is just find out which orientation this is, and it's that. Get myself another piece of double-sided, like so. And just move this off the other magnet, put that down, and you know which way this wants to go, so just put that on the top, like that. And then it wants to go on the top. This is the top with the folded over scored bit, so put that exactly where it's going to go. Make sure you're straight on the edges and it's perfect, and then press your magnet down and it should stay on the back like that. So we've got the magnet in the right place now for to hold all the flips down. Hopefully. We'll see as we go on if we need to add another magnet, but I hope we don't. This has been a magnet gobbling exercise. So I'm just going to take that off there and I'm going to stick this image over it. Before I stick it on, I just want to ink around it, and I'm using the tea dye distress ink. Of course you can use any colour that you want to use. I have in the past with some of my Edith projects used what's it called? Bundled Sage, and I really like that actually. I like the green, it's lovely. But I decided for this one just to go with a more authentic tea dye, because my pages are already aged. They're already beautifully yellowed around the edge, and the tea dye just fits in with it. It doesn't really stand out, but it does make the page pop a little bit. So just work your way around all of that. Like so. And we'll just glue, don't know what that mark is, it's sort of on it already. Let's have a look with my rubber. It looks like it's in the page, rather more than on the page. Don't know what it is. It won't matter because the pocket's going to cover this up anyway, so let's just get this stuck down. I'm using collal, as I tend to use nowadays for virtually everything. Taking care with the edges, and then just a squiggle in the middle will be fine. And if you find you've got too much of a build up at the corner, just wipe it with your finger and then wipe your finger off on your Timmy towel. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to my magnet just to assist, and then place this on exactly where you want it. Like that. And then use your Timmy towel. This is perfect use of a Timmy towel because any that I'm going around, but I'm pushing inwards as I go, and the Timmy towel is absorbing any gunky glue that's coming out. And the collall, if it does come out, it rolls off really nicely with the Timmy towel. So there we are, that's our back page stuck. Now, the next thing is just something a little bit different. I'm going to use a sheet of acetate, and I'm going to make a window. It's not going to have anything behind it apart from this image, but I just want it to look special when you've flipped all your flips and whatever. I want it to look really special in the centre. So I'm bringing the acetate in from the sides just a little bit, just a millimetre, and I'm just going to mark that where I want it and cut that down. Probably do it with this one, I think. And looks fairly square. Okay. So let's just check before we stick. So yeah, that's just in a little bit from all the edges. And of course this bit at the bottom, don't worry about it, it's got no acetate on, it doesn't matter. A pocket's going there, so don't worry. Now then, I'm going to use E6000 to stick my acetate down. Acetate is notoriously horrible to stick down. It's just one of those things. But E6000 does the job, and it doesn't matter if it shows through because we're going to put something over the edges. So don't worry if you know, if you haven't got any dries clear glue or whatever, don't worry about it. You will never see it. Having said that, stick quite close to the edge, but you know, don't worry if you've got glue that dries white or whatever you've got. So I'm just putting a bit of this E6000 on around all the edges. It's quite difficult to see when you're doing it because it's see-through. That's it there, okay. So then just bring it in a millimetre from the edges, like that. Lovely, lovely. And then just press that down. Now E6000 doesn't go off immediately, so you've got a bit of fiddle factor with it. I'm just going to put the lid on that because it does have a habit of seeping out and then it's tricky to remove. So I'm just going to get my Timmy towel again and just go around all the edges, make sure that they are stuck. A bit of pressure never hurt anything when you want to get it glued down. So there we go. Lovely. Right, so the next thing I want to do is create a sort of frame for it. Got a mark there, get rid of that. create a frame, and what I want to use is Edith text. So I've got some here that I've had left over from a project before, and that's fine, that's big enough. So what I want to do really is cut this in half. I don't think she fits in my little guillotine, so I'll try this one. So I'm going to cut it off where the text ends. It's probably easier to see that way, actually. So yeah, about there. I'd say about there. So I've got this piece here. And I'll just chop off the April because I don't want that on the top. Just want it where the text ends, which is there. And I don't want that at the bottom either, so I'm just going to cut that bit off. Right, so what I want to do now is just tear this in half, roughly. I'm really rubbish at tearing paper, which is why I bought my Tim Holtz decal edge trimmer, but I want something that's a bit more rough and ready than the decal edge trimmer gives you, so I'm just doing it by hand. There we go. That's probably a bit wider, is it, than that one? A little bit. Just going to trim a tiny little bit off there. I'm pretty sure I can do that with this one. Oh, if I can get it in, that's right. It's always really tricky getting little bits into this trimmer. I just want a little bit more than that. Yeah, I'm regretting using this now because you can't get in close enough because of the finger guard. But that's fine, I've trimmed it a little bit off, which is, I think, all that's needed. Right, let's ink around there with our tea dye. Ink around both pieces. And this will bring it to life. You don't have to do any of this. You could just stick your paper onto the thing and then move on to the flips and flaps. What I must remember to do is put the flap on there before I stick something else on it. So I'm going to do that now, otherwise I will forget. I know I will. So the longest flap, this one, the 7 1/4 by 8 1/2, that needs to get stuck on there now. So because I'm sticking it onto acetate as well, I'm going to use double-sided and glue, just to give it a chance to stick onto the acetate. So there we are, let's just burnish that down. Peel it off, put some glue on. Oh, it's coming up to lunchtime here on whatever day it is, Thursday. And Mr. F's in the kitchen making lunch. We've decided recently that we prefer having our main meal at lunchtime. And then you don't have to be thinking all day you've got to make dinner, etc. It's done and dusted. Your tummy's full for the rest of the day, although we do tend to have something at tea time as well. So this, I'm going to stick this onto here. So I'm just going to plate it on at first, then fold it over, push it down so it's the same height, make sure it's straight down the sides, like that. It just needs to go down a little bit, it's just a little bit proud. Yeah, that's lovely, that's lovely, that's lovely. Everything is lovely. So let's burnish that down, because it's going onto acetate. So that's stuck down, and that's stuck down. Lovely. The ideal time to put that on, of course, would have been before you put this on, but you know, truth to tell, I forgot. So I've remembered now. Right, where was I? I was inking this. Have I finished inking it? Yeah. So this is going to go down the side here, like that. So I just want to leave the border at the top, the same margin as we've left for everything, and that on top of there. Right, I'm going to try collall on the acetate. I think it will work, but I can come back in a couple of hours or a couple of days and make sure that it is properly stuck down. If not, then I can bring in the heavy guns and use the E6000. I think it will stick, but we'll see. Like I say, it's always a good idea, whatever you're doing, to go back after a little while and just make sure that the glue that you're using was up to the job and that it's not unsticking itself. So let's stick that there, just in from the edge and over the edge of this piece, like so. That's lovely. And yes, it's short there, don't worry about that. That's all going to be taken care of. And just wipe down that side. It feels like it's sticking. With collall you can always get rid of the excess because it just balls up and falls off. It's excellent. So that's one side in. So let's ink up the other side and put it in. So yeah, in case you're wondering, lunch today is chicken pie. Ooh, I love chicken pie. And I can smell it, it's making me hungry. Bob's recovered from having his hair cut yesterday. He slept all yesterday evening. He's always exhausted when he comes back from getting his hair cut because he has to be on high alert, obviously, because there's other dogs around. So I'm going to stick that one in the same but opposite. Put a little bit of glue there. So back with the collall again. And I'm not just going around the edges, I am putting glue on the whole thing. Don't know if you can see me down here, but I don't want to do it over the acetate in case it drips off onto it. Okay, so that piece at the top, following the edge of the paper down there. Lovely. That's great. Right, so let's just make sure that's stuck down properly. Okay, so now we need a piece for the top, and I've run out. I've used all my bits of text up, so I could use a piece from here, but it's really not wide enough, so I think I'm going to have to use it like this on the side, and that's fine, I can do that. So let's just trim that up. So I'll trim this down here where the text starts. There's something in there. No. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's lying flat, but I'm sure it is. Oh, it's caught on the ink pad. So I'm just going to move that till the text is complete down the page. That's it. Down there. And I might just tear it off actually, rather than trim it. I'll just tear off the piece that I want. So I want it about there. So just tear in a rough straight line. And yes, I know the text's going to be going the wrong way, but I think it'll be all right. There we go, we've preserved the rest of that. So let's bring this in, and that's going to go there. Yeah, that looks nice. So let's just trim this at the top of that text. In fact, I'll trim it there. So that's going to go to there. And I'll just mark this where I want it. To there. And trim that off there. Lovely. Yeah, that's smashing. Great. Let's ink it up and stick it down. I think my poor old tea dye is reaching the end of its life actually. But there's plenty in it for this project. This means I have to re-ink my dauber more regularly, but that's okay. Okay, let's stick that down. Then we'll do the pocket, and then we'll get on with the flips. Yeah, I was just checking there that I didn't need to stick anything else down on this top before I stick this. Because it is kind of like a puzzle, isn't it? You sort of work backwards. Lovely. Let's get this down. Yeah, that's really nice. I like that a lot, actually. And the fact that the text going the other way isn't offensive to me in any way. Lovely. Right, so now we've just got the little pocket to make for the bottom, and then that whatever you want to call it, spread, I guess, will be finished. So have a look through your remnants, see what you've got. I don't want anything that's too big because I don't want to lose all of this. I think that's probably fine actually. I'm going to fold in the crease and score in the two sides, but I'm not going to do the bottom, because I'm not going to put masses of stuff in here. So I'm going to mark where the craft is, not where your paper is, but where the craft is, and that's where we're going to score it. The same at the other side. There. So get your scoreboard. And line that up. It probably won't line up exactly with ½ an inch or whatever, but just line it with a line on your scoreboard. Line that little mark that you've made with a line on your scoreboard, and same on the other side. As long as it's lined up with a line, it'll be fine. There we are. And fold those over, crease them in. There we go. Now then, what I want to do is just take off a little V from the score line to the outside on the top. It just makes it look neater when it's in situ. I'm just going to take an eraser and get rid of those pencil marks. And just try this for size. It should be alright, I imagine. It's going to go there. Yeah, perfect. Right, so we'll glue that down. I am on this occasion going to put a bit of double-sided down as well. Just down the flaps. Because it's kind of construction and I don't want the pocket to fall off. It's fair enough if you're just gluing your papers down. Glue is adequate, but for construction I do like a bit of double-sided. As well as glue. So that's okay, just need to trim that off there. Lovely. Burnish those down, take them off, glue them on. You know the story by now. Right. I think we dare glue both of these together. Looks like a pretty good fit to me, so I think we'll be alright. If it's something complicated that you need 3 hands to hold, I'd recommend just doing one side at a time. But I think we're alright. I've got my notches at the top, so that's going to go at the top. I'll get this right on the edge. Oh, forgotten to glue the bottom. That would be no good. Everything we put in would come flying out the bottom. That would be no good at all. So yeah, once again, get your edges lined up with the bottom and the side, and then come across and the other bit should be perfect. And it is. So there we are. They should hold put because they've got the double-sided in them. And get your bone folder and burnish that in and along the bottom. So there we are, we've got a little pocket there now that we can adorn with whatever. And actually I might just leave that for the time being with no adornment decoration on it at all, just until we've got the rest of the page built, so we know what's happening. So this is the next flap, then that one, so I'll stick this one on next. And once again, I'm just going to use a bit of double-sided and glue so it holds instantly and we can get on with the page. And I'm going to do the same to the top flap as that. And we're going to have to check our magnets and make sure that they're strong enough. So otherwise I might have to add one to one of the other flaps. So there we are, let's burnish that down on the top one as well. Scissors have caught onto my magnet. I can hear from the kitchen that my lunch isn't far off ready. So I think I'll stick these flaps on and then go and have my lunch and come back and decorate them. So that goes right on the top there, like that. Make sure it's straight. That's obviously slipped. Make sure it's straight down the sides and on the top. Should all be piled up nicely on top of each other, and those edges should be super straight. Yeah, like that. So fold that back and we'll give it a burnish down. Oh, let's move that. Too much glue on it. So once again, let's just get that straight. If you press it down, then it's got to be straight, and it's straight across the top. Yeah, okay. So I'll leave that to its own devices. It's perfectly square, which is the main thing. Just a bit of glue. I think I overglued the last one. It was a bit squidgy. I could move it around too much. So I want a bit of glue, but not masses. And then this is going to go on the top. So I want it there. That's pretty square. I'm just going to hold it up like that to make sure it's square down that side, and then put it into place like that. It's square at the top, it's square down the sides. That's perfect. Perfect placement. Of course it's got that magnet on. So yeah, that's lovely. I'm just going to leave that, just roll over it on the outside like that. Just make sure everything's straight before you leave it to dry. And that magnet does look like it's doing the job. I'll reassess as I go along, because of course there's going to be paper there, paper there, paper there, paper there, and paper there. So we need to, you know, just keep checking as we do it that the magnet's going to be strong enough. But so far, looking good. Right, I'm off for my lunch. I'll see you after lunch. I might have to have a little sleep. A nana nap. But I'll have a little tidy up of the desk as well. So when we come back, we are just ready to decorate. So see you in a sec. Right, I'm back with you. Tummy full, replete. Lovely lunch. Thank you, Mr. F. So we've got our 3 flaps to cover, and I have had a minuscule tidy up, not so as you'd notice too much. But I found this page that I thought might be quite nice for the top flap. Obviously I'm not going to get it all in, but I'm going to get that robin in, and it's going to go up to about there. So I think that would look quite nice. Yeah. Yes, I do. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with that, and I know it's down the centre fold of the paper, so I don't need to mark that one. I just need to mark this. where I want to trim it. So let's do that then. Just trim it down that centre line there. And just where I marked it. Let's have a little look what it looks like first before I cut it. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. This is one of those pages that actually I underutilise usually. My blade must be getting raggy again. That's ridiculous. It's just, I just put it in a couple of days ago. I mean, I have cut quite a few things, but I think it was Nancy that told me that the blades just don't stay sharp for any period of time, and I'm seeing exactly what she means. So let's just ink around there. I do have another trimmer that's fabulous. It's a Caterpillar. It's a big green chopper. Rotary cutter it is really, but attached to a board. And it's brilliant, but it's just too big to be hauling on and off the desk for videos and lives, etc. It's great if I want to get things cut in advance and be prepared, but not for this sort of thing. So let's just check that's all right. Yes, that's lovely. And I like that. Yep, let's glue it on. You don't have to use the same pages as I'm using, of course you don't. You can use whichever page catches your eye. Sort of going with the birdie theme with this page, I think. Okay, let's get this stuck on. There we are. So I'm just going to take the tummy towel and press around it inwards, inward pressure. Just like that. And just caress it for a little while. That looks nice, actually. I like that. I like the robin being there. So for the next page, I think this is what I thought. I can't actually remember now. Does that fit on there is the question. So that's where that would bend there. Yeah, that fits on. Excellent. So that's the page that I'm going to use. No Edith book would be complete without Edith, without the blue tits. I don't think. I love them. So let's mark those up and get those chopped out. They're at the exact right width, so I just need to come in a little bit at the top to allow for a margin. Chop it off. There we go. That's so pretty, that page. So this is our next page, and it's going to go on there like that. Isn't that lovely? Yay! So we haven't even needed to lose the names. We've still maintained the text on that. So after this we've got to find paper for one more flip and then think about what we're going to do on the backs. Lovely, so get that glued in. This is another very straightforward, very simple page. This is what this Edith is all about, simplicity. It's not about showing off too much. The only thing we want to show off are the Edith pages, and the simpler you make the pages, the more you can see the glorious Edith. So, you know, it's not one of those sort of tricksy mini albums. It's just a very, very straightforward one. A tricksy mini album. Who'd have thought it? So there we go. There we go. That looks lovely. It looks so lovely. Right, so now we need to find something for this page. Now, I haven't laid anything out for it. I've got some remnanty bits over here, I don't know. No, it's in a bit more than that, I think. Not that. Another birdie. So if I put that on there like that, where would that come to? Kind of there. So I'd need to bring it down a little bit, otherwise I'd lose half of that and it wouldn't look right. So let's do that then. Let's bring that down a little bit to there, mark it there, and then mark it there. And we know that we want half the page, so yeah, that should be nice. Then we've got a whole birdie thing going on this page, apart from the back, which I don't know what I use now. I'm glad I found this. I really like him. He's lovely. No, that does not want to cut that in any way, shape or form. So I've succeeded in blunting my blade in less than a day. So I'm not overly impressed with that, I can tell you. So that's where it was torn, but I think it'll be all right. Put that over there, then I'll just get rid of the... I think that's shocking that that's gone blunt in such a short space of time. I might actually even contact Fiskars and tell them I think that's a pile of rubbish. And I haven't got money to be spending on piles of rubbish. So let's just try this. There, see what it's, yes, that's perfect. So we've maintained that whole verse there. and who it's from, and we've maintained this whole song thrush. So I'm quite pleased about that. So let's just ink around him. Just going to erase the tiniest bit of a pencil mark that I chopped through. For all it's a simple page, there is quite a lot on it. Lots of lovely images. Okay. Lovely. It hasn't shrunk. Not that I was expecting it to. Paper tends not to. So I don't know why I keep trying it. Every time I do something to it, I try it to see that it's going to fit. Of course it's going to fit. Well, the weather here is taking a bit of a turn for the worse. We went out yesterday afternoon and all the hilltops, the mountain tops, were covered in a fresh coat of snow. I'll remind you, we're in May, so it should be spring here. And then as we were driving back home, we saw a lightning storm, which is always interesting to see, but this one was a bit close, actually. Just a little bit close to us. But still, we stopped to watch it. It was really interesting. And Mr. F took a video of it on his phone, on his camera, I should say. So we had that. And then as we turned to actually swing for home, it started to hail. And I honestly thought it was going to dent the car. It was massive, sort of hail stones. And that stayed with us for a good few miles. So there we are. There's our song thrush, and that's the centre page. I really do like that page, actually. It's lovely. So we have to still work out what we're going to... Oh, and do the magnets work? Yes, they do. Yeah. Not the strongest, but yeah, quite strong enough. Right, so now we need to put papers on the back of these, and we need to work out what we're going to put onto here. Now, I'd quite like that to be something really nice. Or text, I suppose. Text might do. Have I got any text? Yeah, I've got that, but it would be going that way. Would that be all right? It would match in with that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to do it. But I'm going to make it square across the top, I think. Yeah, I'm going to make it square. So I'm just going to mark where I want it, just in from the border. Cut that. Cut that the old-fashioned way, because it's the only way that seems to be working. And down there, where I've marked. So let's see then. Yeah, that's lovely. So I'll just trim magnets sticking to my scissors. So I'll just trim along the bottom there. Yeah, I'll just make a line where I want to cut that. I think I can probably do that with my scissors. Let's give it a go. Well, yeah, it's fine. It's not exact, but it's near enough. So let's ink around that and stick that on there. Quite like that, and I'm going to like it when all these pages are down as well. It's just a nice contrast. Excellent. That's good. I wasn't really sure what I was going to put on there, but this is a perfect solution. So there's plenty of photo mats. If you want to put a photo where the birds are, that's fine. Or if you just want to use the back of the pages, equally fine. Yeah, that's going to go there. I'm doing it again. I've inked it, so I've tried it for size again. I mean, how is it going to change? It's just stupid. So I haven't got much else to tell you, really. Mr. F got his appointment for his second COVID jab, so he's going next week for that. And I hope he's as symptom-free as I was. I had a sore arm, but apart from that, absolutely nothing. There we go. That's lovely. That is really nice, I think. Let's just fondle. There we go. Right, okay. So now we need to start looking at the papers for the backs. So using the same paper as before, I'm just going to cut these out, leaving a margin. Oh, I think that might be a bit close. Oh, no, that's all right. And here. Okay, so that's that piece. The next piece, let me just check that. You know what I'm like, I need to check it. Yeah, that's perfect. So the next piece has to be this size, so it's going to be another new sheet of paper. Make some marks where you need to cut it. And chop that. That's Mr. F off out to post off some Etsy things. There we go. Let's just check that that is indeed the right size. I'm pretty sure it will be, but you know. Yeah, that's fine. Just erase that pencil mark on there. Lovely. So that's that one, and then we've just got the smallest one on the top, but I don't think I'm going to get that out of the remnants. No chance. So it's another new piece of paper. But don't forget to keep all your remnants, because they will have a use at some stage. Then I think we'll stamp these like we did the other ones, for a bit of uniformity really. It's quite nice if there's something uniform throughout the journal, the book. Oh, don't make that straight. See you later, my love. On the edge. Right, so that should be our 3 pieces now, all cut out and ready to go. These 3 here. So let's get the stamping platform out. Except it's under everything else. There we go. So I happen to have 3 butterflies on here, but apropos nothing. So, right, the big one, which goes on the back of here. Yeah, that's definitely right. So I want the stamps to be coming from the bottom up. So let's have a look at the stamps that I have. These are, again, these are the Tim Holtz mini bouquet, I think they're called, mini bouquet wildflowers. It's easy to go overboard with these, isn't it? Very easy indeed. I think that's all of them there. So I'll just pop that one there, that one there. Yeah, I'm just going to shuffle those around so they're fairly sort of central. Like that. Okay. Oh, I've got that on the wrong side. That's annoying. Got that on the clear side. I'll just turn it round and it will be on the rubber side. So we'll pick those up. And we're inking them up, and I'm using Distress Archival ink in Vintage Photo. You can use whatever you want. We're not adding water over the top of these, so they don't actually have to be archival. You could use your Distress inks. The only time I wouldn't use Distress inks on stamps is if I'm going in later on to add something to it, even decoupage or whatever. They are water reactive, Distress inks, so just beware of that. Whereas the archival ink isn't water reactive. It's not stuck on there very well. Right. That is not stuck on there at all, in fact. I don't know why. I'm on the right side. Let's have a look. Well, they're just perfect. I really like those. So I just really want to get that on there. They're not dirty or anything, so I don't know why it's not sticking. It's just being awkward. Oh, it's done it myself. Right, that's perfect. I'm happy with those. I like the way they sort of look slightly imperfect. So that's that page. We can stick that onto there. And then this one, which is this page. Let's just check we've got it the right way around. Yep. So this is the bottom here. Let's have a bit of a... Let's just wipe these off a bit. And then select some to go on this one. They are different. I didn't have those on the last one, so That's okay. I'm just going to put 3 on this one, I think. I think that's sufficient. You can use different coloured inks if you want to. You definitely can. You know, you could make the flower heads a different colour from the stem. There's loads of things you can do with stamps. I'm just being quite boring here and just inking them up in the archival, all one colour, because that's the look that I want. There we go. Lovely. So that's that one going to go there. And then this one, which is going to go there. Lovely. So this is the bottom down here. Way. What am I going to put on it? Let's have that and that. No, I don't like that. That. Let's just shuffle them around so they look vaguely central, like that. Okay. It'd help if you put them the right way, wouldn't it? It always helps. Okay. Take your pad to the stamp, not the other way around. It really does work. You don't want to be doing it the other way around. There we are. I might just give this one a little more. It's just a bit too distressed. Oh, and that one there actually. Looks like a bad stamp rather than distressed. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. And a bit of a wipe over with a Timmy towel and pop them back where they live, which is on my desk at the moment because I'm using them all the time. So get the stamping platform put away. It's heavier than you think, that thing. Put the lid on the archival. I do like archival ink, especially since it went to all the distress colours. I don't know if they changed the formula or whatever, but I really like it. Now the last one that well, no, I can put this one on first. I just need to check with the other ones that I put cream paper on, did I ink around them or not? Yes, I did. So that's fine. Let me ink around these ones too. I thought I somehow remembered that I had done, but then I thought I might not have done. You know what it's like. It can be tricky in my head. So let's just ink around these. It only takes a second and it does look nice. There we are. Okay. So let's just take the backing off the magnet that we've got on the back of this page. There we go. Pop a little bit of glue on the magnet. That's right, isn't it that way? Yeah. Best to double check at this stage. Lovely. Just a little excess glue down there. So just wipe it straight up. And then I can just caress that a little bit and pay attention to the bit where the magnet is, because you need to make sure that the paper's stuck to it on top of it. I reckon that's good. So I'm going to leave that middle one just in case we need to add an additional magnet. So I'm going to put my paper on the back one first, the largest one. What am I doing with archival? For heaven's sake. And furthermore, thinking about it, you don't have to use cream paper for this. I like cream paper because it goes with Edith, I think. But you don't have to. You could use anything. You could even use more Edith pages if you really wanted to. My goodness. That would take a lot of Edith then, wouldn't it? And that's going to go on there. Yeah. I don't think Bobby's realised his dad's gone yet. I'll start searching for him in a while. Right, so that goes there like that. The thing is, if you say goodbye to him, Mr. F says goodbye to him on the way out, he's inconsolable then. So let's bring that down a little bit. I'm losing my margin. This is about getting ready for the wash again, actually. There we go. Just caress it a little bit. I don't know what that was. It went flying, but let's hope it wasn't anything too important. Right, so let's see if the magnets want to work or if I need to add an additional one. No, that's fine. They're absolutely fine. There's still some pull left in that, so that's great. So that means I can put this page on and this piece of paper and call the page done. I'll have a look through when I've got this piece on. Congratulate ourselves on our work. It is very satisfying. I love doing this, being so precise. I'd like it a whole lot more if that paper trimmer that I had, actually worked for a period of time without going blunt. I think that is wrong. It just doesn't, it's not good enough. So I bought it off Amazon, so I'm not sure really whether to complain to Amazon or to Fiskars. I mean, I've had it a little while now, so perhaps it's Fiskars that I need to contact. I don't know, but I'm going to contact somebody. Lovely. I like that stark creaminess with those stamps on. I do really like that. Right, okay then, let's pop the lid on the glue and let's have a look at what we've created, what page 5 is all about. So there it is, the lovely robin on the front and this text on the bottom. I really like that. It will, I'm pretty sure it's going to end up being decorated with ribbon or, you know, lace or something. I don't know, maybe flat back pearls, who knows. Flat back pearls, bit of lace. These are just stuff I've got on my desk, so. But you know, that sort of thing. And then maybe a bit of green ribbon or something. A bit of gingham ribbon. I don't know. But it'll end up with something on it once we've finished. So that's the robin on the front page. Flips up. We've got this journaling spot or a spot to put your photographs. The blue tits. Wonderful, I love those. With the journaling or photographic space there. And this, I'm really pleased to use this song thrush because he gets overlooked so often because he's actually quite large. So I'm pleased to use him. And then when you get to the back, it's this lovely sort of window, acetate window. Very pretty Edith page and a pocket at the bottom so we can tuck things into there. So there you go. Page 5 is now complete. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a bit of a long one. Long and complex, but simple. You know, the basic everything was simple. So I'll see you again very soon when we will be doing page 6. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Take care now. Bye-bye.